Guys, we're back. Tell me if you can hear anything. Let me know if you can hear me. Um, oh, no one's in yet. Well, I hope you all can hear me. I just stopped at the gas station to get to put some fix a flat in my tire, and we'll see how that works out. I have a pump in the car. You guys saw that this morning. Um, But let's get into this review. I text my boss and let her know that I'm going to be running a little late. A little late is probably 15 minutes at this point, which I can handle it. Good morning, Miss Lady. All right, how are you? Good morning. Good morning. It has been an eventful morning on this side, but we are getting things rolling. I've got coffee, and we were supposed to get here and get into this review, which I'm really excited about. I tried to record it yesterday, doing show. Good morning, Shelly. Thank you for sending me the message on Instagram. I hope you guys can hear me now. Um, but yeah, I, it's been an eventful morning. Let me just roll it back a little bit. Good morning, Kelly. Kathy. I'm sorry. Good morning, Kathy. Um, so okay, Sunday show. It was Real Housewives of Potomac, season 5, episode 7. Right. It starts off where we last ended. We were at the crab place, the Juicy Crab or whatever, and I believe Monique asked Ashley about her marriage or how Michael was doing, and she said something along the lines of making us richer or something. It was just like, I don't know, closing deals, whatever. And all the while, Candace and Giselle are like shooting daggers just like across the table. Like, I think Giselle probably would have wanted Candace to say something in that moment. I'm glad Candace didn't. Candace is maturing. I've liked Candace since she entered the show. I think I kind of understand Candace a little bit, but I think I was really happy in that moment that she didn't say anything. But Giselle does announce to the table, like, later on she wants to have a conversation with Ashley and Candace. So so they leave the I'm so sorry you guys. I am like trying to remember everything. They leave the place, they leave the juice crab and they head back to the house. There's a huge bugs. All I remember is Karen saying, Manolos, they do the job. And it was just so like, of course, I love Karen. There's something about older women, especially like older kind of like bougetto women, because Karen isn't all the way bougie. She has her moments, and we'll talk about it when she gets drunk. Oh my God, Karen. Like, but they're killing bugs. They're getting ready for this campfire or bonfire that Monique is gonna set up. Oh, I missed that comment. I'm so sorry. They're getting ready for this bonfire Monique is setting up, and Candace and Giselle are waiting down. Good morning. Candace and Giselle are waiting downstairs for Ashley. Ashley is putting Dean to sleep. Which, let's talk about that. Okay, I am a little with Wendy about Ashley bringing Dean solely for the fact that if this is something that we're gonna do and we're supposed to be trying to have fun, you being away with the baby isn't going to increase our chances of having fun. Like, that's all I'm saying. Like, we have to. We she missed the trip because she was with the baby most of the time. Anytime a scene popped up where like the girls were together, it was like, "Where's Ashley? She's doing this with Dean." What was the point of bringing the friend if you were going to be off and about the whole time? I'm sorry. I went on a tangent. So where was I? Oh, they're waiting for Ashley to come downstairs, and Monica's like, "What are you guys up to?" She's like, she was being nosy. She was being nosy, and she had every right to be nosy. She was in her house, right? So like, They're like, oh, we could be planning something for you. Go outside, which, you know, I feel like if we're friends, if we're chilling, my friends can tell me to go outside if I'm in my own house. You know, like they can be like, Desmond, we're talking, and first of all, we wouldn't even have to have that conversation because my mind, my own business is so strong. Like people could be on the phone right next to me, talking loud, and when they get off the phone, like, oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't hear anything. My mind, my business is on 1,000. So like Monique kept coming in, kept coming out, and that was annoying them. Ashley finally makes it down, and the girls are ready to tell her this information that Candace received about Michael. Shocking, we're receiving more information about Michael. So Ashley sits down and Giselle starts everything off. Giselle, you know, and I think Giselle needed to be there for that conversation. I think somebody that Ashley respected needed to be there for that conversation because I don't think she would just have received that from Candace on her own. You know what I'm saying? Like with the history they have and all the things that Candace has said about Michael and relished in saying about Michael, Ashley wouldn't have been here for it if Giselle wasn't there. Do I think it was the time because there was more trip left? I feel like Candace should have probably told Ashley at a different time because now she can't even enjoy the rest of her trip because she can't wait to get home and tell Michael about what she just heard or just like confront him or something like that. You know, like can you imagine being on a trip and somebody gives you some devastating news like within the last day of the trip, you want to get home and you want to like, I would have been texted. I would have been, I don't care. So like, I feel like they could have waited to give her that news at a dinner later on after, but I felt like I guess they were like, let's get this out of the way, and Giselle, they had to do it earlier because Giselle was leaving like the next morning. So they do it. They tell her, you know, Giselle. Candace starts off by telling Ashley what she's heard about Michael. And, you know, Ashley's like, is it a credible source? She shows her the text messages. You know, she's reading the whole nine about the strippers and taking son to a hotel and having a wife and a boyfriend. And I honestly, when they first came on the show, they were giving me like swinger vibes. Like Ashley was not against like being all. It was season one, all I could remember is like this cute young girl with this older man, and they were the party couple. For some reason in my mind, they were like, ooh, you know. Now that Ashley is all like a mom and everything, I think she wants us to kind of wipe the slate clean of that because she was younger. I mean, how many years ago that was? She was mid 20s at the time, 29 if anything. So you know, they tell her she reads. She doesn't seem shocked by any of it, which I mean, Michael's been squeezing booties since season one, so it's like okay, we're gearing up for another season. So what are they gonna go after? They're gonna go after Michael's squeezing booties. They're not gonna let it die. So I think she was in that mindset, but also she shared with the girls that like she's a super snooze. She reads text messages, emails, listen, underwear. Do what you gotta do. Do what you got. I am above nobody super snoop. If we're dating, I know your password. Even if you don't think I know your password, I know your password. Now the goal is to never make me want to use that password. you know, like so I'm I can't judge her on her level of super sleuth because I can find out information when I want to know information. Then okay, they tell her that she shares that Monique comes back in. Wait, no, they go out. I don't know how long they had been in the house, but they were in there long enough for the ladies outside to finish a bottle of champagne. So they go outside. Karen's like, Giselle, you left your girl. And, talking about Robin. And good morning, Andrea. And talking about Robin. And Giselle's like, Robin is grown now. I'm actually starting to really like Robin. Robin seems very reasonable. She's been like, she's she's in that mode where like and her kids are around 8 and 9, so she's in that mommy mode where she's like explaining everything rational to the women. Like, but what if I did this to you? It's such a mom thing to do, and I feel like I'm enjoying seeing that part of Robin this season. Robin has always been my girl. Yeah, she just seems really cool. Her and Giselle, when they get together, I actually like their relationship, and I think I like Giselle because I like Robin. Because when the two of those ladies get together, it is a good time. It's a little messy, a little shady, but like friends, we're parlaying, we're having a good time. Anyway, whatever. They get out there. Monique is like real upset that they are this late for the fire, and she will not drop it, which I get it. Monique, this was not a good episode for Monique. This was not a good episode for Monique. Mentally, I feel like she was upset that Candace, someone that she does not mess with, period, she does not like Candace, was in there talking to her girl Ashley because they've grown a connection, and to her girl, to someone she's trying to be friends with, Giselle. So they're in there talking with this girl that she don't really roll with in her house, and they're being all secretive. What do they have to talk about? So I get her trying to like be nosy and where her aggravation was kind of coming from, especially if she was reeling all off of that Charisse madness. But we saw a lot of controlled anger out of Monique this episode. It's that anger where it's like, I'm gonna laugh, I'm gonna smile, I'm gonna say, I'm gonna give you a little bit of this, but I want you to know that I am extra pissed, and you gonna hear about it later. Where it's like, you guys were super late, but she is fuming on the inside, like these just got the nerve to be this late. So that's what I was reading from Monique. That might not be true, but it was what I was getting. So, Giselle has to leave early from the fire. So I don't know how late they stayed out there. I don't know if they got to get their full of the moment, because from the editing, it made it seem like Candace, Ashley, and Giselle came right out of the house. Excuse me. Came like right out of the house and went back into the house. Like Giselle and Ashley, not so much Candace. She stayed up and hung out with the ladies. Her, Candace, her, Monique, Wendy, which I'm liking Wendy. I am getting annoyed with the whole degrees thing. Like, let's find out a little bit more than just all about your degrees. Which we did get some new information about the family today, but we'll get into that later. So the ladies dispersed and everything, and we were downstairs taking fireball shots with the four ladies I aforementioned, right? So Karen, Karen is a foul mouthed girl. Oh my God, I don't know if I I could be around Karen when she's drinking like that. Like, I don't mind a little cursing, but when it was like, oh my God, the producers had their finger on the beat button. It was like, and then she was talking about how she's still moist, which I'm not mad at you. Do your thing, and all of that. Which I think that was coming from loose lip sync shit. That was coming from I think what Wendy was saying about the coochie box in earlier episodes, when she was like, okay, Ray got the coochie box unlocked. So Karen threw that out there. She also said that like she put down half of her money when Ray went through his tax issues, which I feel like you're married. What's yours is mine. What's mine is yours. And when you fall, I'm there to pick you up. And when I fall, you should be there to do the same. So that wasn't shocking to me, But Karen says she wants her money back, and I and I get it. He's not acting right, and you want every dime. If he was hugging her and being super loving and being the Ray that we once knew, I don't think Karen would have a problem with giving him any of that money because she loves that man. And it's so weird because we look at the age, especially on with her and with Ashley. Like Ashley and Michael, considerable different age difference, and it's so hard for people to believe that she loves him, and that's like twisted, because it's like no, if you didn't see Ashley loving Michael, like she was with him during that whole allegation last year, and even if we ride like that, I am. I'm on the paranoid side about this tire, you guys. Like, this is just a really bumpy ride, and I'm not sure if that fix-a-flat is doing what I needed it to do. But we'll deal with it. We'll deal with it when I get to work. Where was I? Ashley and I believe Ashley loves Michael. Um, where was I going with that? Oh, Karen, the tax issues. She was talking while they were drinking downstairs. What did you guys think about that scene? Like, would you be able to kick it with Karen with all that cursing and carrying on? Like, we go from there to the next morning. Karen and Monique are two of the first ones up, and I'm gonna go back and read the comments. I'm trying to split focus here. Karen and Monique are two of the first people up, and I think Karen, just biologically, you just have a time you wake up. She still woke up hungover. It wasn't like, oh my God, girl, you an OG. No, she would have been up at that time anyway. If it was any given Sunday, Karen would have been up at that time. But she's like, yes, I am, and blah blah blah. But she was she was toe up. Karen was toe up. They said she had 9 shots, and you know, I'm I'm not a big drinker. I can take down a bottle of wine by myself, honestly. But I do my hard. I try my hardest not to. But 9 shots. I've never had a 9 shot tonight. I have woken up with a hangover. Somebody needed to be a friend to Karen and give her a little Tylenol or something before she went to sleep that night, because that would knock that hangover right out. Um, but they get up, they're getting ready. The guys are gonna show up. When the guys finally get there, we get a little scene where the guys are talking. I really could have done without that scene, because it really did. It didn't show Chris in the best light either, because it makes it seem like all he wants from Monique is sex, which I guess once again, why not? Maybe they had a whole longer conversation, but they sounded like cavemen. It was like, can you get a nut? Can you ha? If she does it, if I do it, I need sex whenever I want. It was just like, I don't know. It was cringy to me. The Monique's asking Robin to come up with some games, and she comes up with some really cute games. She gets the husbands to mimic their wives, and for the most part, it was all soft, fun and games, what you'd expect. Ray was mimicking Karen's grandness. I want my tea at this time, and Eddie, Wendy's husband, was like, it's hard for her to decide on an outfit, which, once again, if I'm in a relationship, it's not hard for me to decide. I'm wearing whatever you're wearing. So when you get ready, I'm gonna coordinate. We don't have to match, but I'm gonna coordinate. And yes, okay. Split and focus. I'm not getting lost. I'm loving this. This is good, good. So I'm wearing whatever you're wearing. We're gonna coordinate. Whatever. Um, Robin's not husband yet, but Robin's Swan doesn't show up because he's coaching a soccer football game. Juan is always working when these events are happening. You know, Juan doesn't really show up to everything like some of the husbands do, because he's like working. Do you think he just doesn't want to be around the cast like that? Because like literally, Juan is forever working. He's not there, so he doesn't mimic his style. We've got Ray and Wendy already. So then Monique's Chris get up there, and I thought when he flipped the bottle over, I thought he was referencing that she can like turn a bottle over, like she's a drunk. So I was like, oh, that's messed up. But later on, like through like people explaining it to me, he was like saying how, or just through the show, he was saying like how apparently he was performing fellatio, or about how Monique, and it was just really like in front of a group of people, you know, and I know those people that don't care about talking about sex with whoever, you know, it could be like 20 people in the room, they're going to talk about it. Hey, love, hey, Latanya. It could be like 20 people in the room, and they're going to talk about it. I find it distasteful. I don't want you knowing what goes on in my bedroom, even if we're friends, because, like, I was raised under the concept you brag about it, somebody might want to try it out, you know? So, like, all of that Chris was doing was like his wife this episode too much, you know. And then Candace's Chris gets up there and says, you know, how at the flip of a switch, she can go from super sweet and polite, you know, I served her a beverage, to throwing a butter knife at somebody. Which I wasn't mad at Candace for the butter knife incident. I was not, after watching the episode and, you know, Ashley leaving and coming back into my house after you was put out, and you're going to feel like you have a ground to stand on and say something. Like, I don't give a crap what you got to say or what you want to be a part of. I told you to leave, you know? But I'm gonna go back and read these comments, you guys. I really want to hear what you guys think. But okay, so the husbands mimic the wives. It's all fun and game. Um, I believe Robin and Wendy are outside and they are talking about last night. Wendy's telling Robin about how Karen got a little sloshed, you know, and Robin's like, so of course Karen comes out, and that's the first thing Robin asks Karen about. Like, oh, I heard you were drinking last night, and Karen's like, what are you talking about, Robin? Robin looks straight over to Wendy and says, see, this is what I be talking about, Wendy. And I don't know if Robin had a right to be mad in that situation. Um, I think hungover Karen needed everybody to repeat what they were talking about that day, because she was a little slow to start. So it's just like she's like, what are you talking about, Robin? And Robin thinks once again, you know, this is Karen being grand and can't have a bad moment. And I think Karen is a lot more real than they give her credit. You know, she's gonna binge watch all day. So I think Karen, yeah, they don't give Karen enough credit for being real. So Monique comes out. She comes out with Danishes. It's her, Candace, Karen, and Robin. And oh, I totally glazed over the fact that they had like a little argument in the kitchen where Ashley felt like she had to explain the fact that Candace and Giselle were warning her about Michael. Like that And Monique saying, "Oh, I wasn't upset about the fact that you guys. I don't care what the conversation was about. It was the fact that y'all had a conversation, or something like that, or she planned something out." It was like, well, now that you have the information of what it was about, can you show somebody a little sympathy? I mean, like Ashley is your girl. So for you to be like, I don't care, why won't we leave Mary? You doing too much. You doing way too much. You mad at Candace? Please say that, because Karen even gave you an opportunity when you were down, when you guys were down in the basement having shots, to reconcile with Candace. But instead, no, you wanted to play it cool, calm, and collected, right? Nah, I just want to kiki, have a good moment. I don't want to have no big talks like that. What Monique wanted was Candace to fight for that argument. Monique was like, I'm gonna brush it off, but she really wanted Candace to say, no, Monique, let's talk about it. Let's get over it. Come on, but Candace didn't do that. Candace said, heard, I bow out, and that frustrated Monique a little bit more, because she's like, oh, I have the right to not want to talk about it. I didn't do nothing wrong to you. You hurt me, so you should be it's not not verbally, but I feel like this was all subconscious, right? So later on, when they're at the pool with Wendy, Karen, and Robin, you know, Monique isn't finished getting her anger out at Candace. So she's like, oh, I felt like you were being messy. Candace was being messy. At first I thought Candace was doing it with great intentions. I was like, oh, the way she handled it, that was great. But then Candace got in the confessional and had like things to say. So it's like her confessional totally negated how genuine that moment first came off. At least to me it did. Because it was like, oh, she's handling this really well. And then all of a sudden she's like, is there some kind of arrangement? Why is that your business? You said you wanted to give the information. You didn't want to resolve. You gave the information. There was no resolve. So like, why are we doing all this in the confession? Whatever. So so Monique still wants to lash out at Candace, and maybe rightfully so to her. So they're at the pool. They kick up in the argument again. She's like, Monique's like, you're gonna make this a bigger deal than it is, and that is exactly what she was doing, to the point where like Candace had to walk off, and I agree with Candace in that moment. Like, there's only so much I'm gonna go back and forth with somebody because Karen gonna want her piece of the pie to walk. I'm not understanding. I'm gonna read that. There's probably some context there, but Candace walks off because they're getting into the argument again. Monique wants people to leave people's marriages alone, which the show is called Real Housewives. Yeah, you guys have businesses. You're not a lazy mom whatsoever. You're not a lazy mom. But what is a housewife? And what do we focus? Should we be watching you guys clean your house all day, raise the kid? Like, there's a marriage involved in being a housewife. So it didn't make sense to me, because you know she might not mess with anyone else's marriage, but Ashley does, Giselle does, Karen does. Even maybe Robin doesn't. I don't know. Has Robin ever said anything? Robin's always making digs at Karen and Ray about like how Karen just overshines him and whatever, but I don't think he minds. But that's what you're on the show for. So she's like, "Oh, you were being messy." She doesn't believe Candace has it in her to grow because she don't like Candace right now, and and you cannot like her. I mean, don't like. So Candace walks off. Giselle and not Giselle. Robin's so much like Giselle, I'm calling her Giselle now. Wendy and Robin are outside trying to like reason with Monique. Like, don't you think, and she didn't handle it that way. Wendy kept repeating, she said sorry. She said, what else do you want? After the girl done apologized, she said sorry. Like, why are we still talking about it? Karen, Karen don't care enough. She got to go in the house. She got a nurse. She got a hangover to nurse, you know? So, and she's like, I'm going to go get my husband. I don't care about any of this, which she shouldn't have. It's the last day. Mind you, Monique, oh, this is the part of that too muchness Monique was doing. She came outside in Chris's jacket that he had just shown up in. People who do that, like, I know it's cute, throw on your boyfriend's jacket, but like, that was done for effect. That was done to be too much, I believe. You come out in this jacket with pastries. We get it. It's your birthday. You know what? It was her birthday. Let her do as much as she wants on her birthday. Yeah, yeah. Let me take that back. So she comes out. It felt too much. The whole episode. Candace goes in the house. From the when they came back out, and well, I guess everybody else ended up in the house and getting close to her again. Everyone else ended back up in the house. You know, a cake comes in with some balloons. It looks really nice. Chris had this done for Monique. Even Monique's really Chris was too much. It felt forced, and of course it was forced. She was just outside arguing with bitches, you know, like. So she's like, I need to be really happy about this, but I'm fuming once again. Controlled anger. So, you know, he that comes in. This is the only happy birthday Candace has ever missed. You know, Candace is the happy birthday singing girl in these parts. You know, and she missed that. You know, she must have been dying on the inside because Candace loves a happy birthday. You know, so so she stands upstairs. She's while they're singing, she's like, I'm not gonna partake in what's going on down there. Rightfully so. You know, while when they wrap that up and they're getting ready to start cutting up pieces of cake and whatever, um, Chris asks where Candace is, and Monique's like, oh, you know, she's probably packing. We had an argument earlier. What was the point of telling the whole room that, Monique? Like, really, what was the point of telling everybody there that you guys just had an argument? Messy. The same thing you were getting mad at Candace about. When she wasn't really even being all that messy, you were being messy. And then Candace came down, and Candace's responses are like equally as passive aggressive. Because she's like, no, I'm right here. It's way too much energy going on with two people that are trying to act like they're cool and not mad, but are really mad. When they could just sit down and talk and be like, I'm mad, here's why I'm mad, blah, blah, blah. But they don't want to hear each other. They're both, I don't know. I don't know. The, the lake house to me seemed like, you know, Monique's intention was to get a chance to relearn and reintroduce everybody to everybody, right? So everybody came and everybody has changed. Everybody has grown. Ashley, we didn't, still has her messy moments. That fight with her and Wendy at the beginning, that was a little mess from Ashley, but she has grown into motherhood. Giselle has grown as a friend. Candace has grown from someone who thinks about what she says instead of just saying them. You know, Karen has grown because she's a lot more fun. Karen used to be really stuffy, and she has become a lot more fun in the past couple of seasons. Robin's having, you know, thoughts outside of Giselle now. I'm enjoying that. I'm really, I'm really enjoying this, like, Robin with her own, you know. It's nice to see. So all of the women have definitely grown, but it didn't seem. Oh, and Wendy's new. So all the women have definitely grown, but it didn't seem like anyone was really interested in the whole reintroduction of it all. Because if they did, they would have seen the trip for the great time that it could have been. Now, I am with the ladies at the beginning of the show. They said, I don't want to stop talking, but I am at work and I should be trying to get in there. I'm having too much fun, you all. So, they did say, probably not close on those ladies. True, true. The lake house was out in the boonies and giving all kind of, horror movie vibes. But I do believe they took that trip for granted, Anyways, you guys, I'm here. Hold on. You guys are still in the car. Let's see. Can you hear me now? Anyways, okay, I'm so sorry about that, you guys. I'm gonna get into work, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.